Good evening from Minnesota. Weather update. It has been like 40 degrees here the last 2 days. I was really hoping I wouldn't be doing this in the evening. I was really wanting to get off work on time and not have other life stuff and get to run something out in the warm weather and the sunshine. But you know, life happens. Got to ride that bike trainer. Mountain biking season will be upon us sooner than I anticipate, so I want to stay in shape for that because mountain biking is probably my first love, and coaching mountain bike. Go Bears. Emax update. ESC is fried. Brian, if you've seen him on Facebook on the Emax fan page, he knows a ton. He helped walk me through all the testing and stuff and just determined that the ESC is toast, which is super sad. But I'm going to try to find an original, or he told me they can be repaired. So I do have some really smart electrical guys at the pipeline, and I've already started taking it apart and figuring out how to do that. So maybe it'll get repaired. Otherwise, I'd like to find another one just like it, so the truck's pretty stock. But what I want to revisit, and I've been meaning to revisit, is ever since putting the old school Rustler back together, I haven't got it up and running again. So I'd like to at least get it started and see what the tune is like on it. So yeah, gosh, I still love that Jordan sticker. That is 90s right there. Hopefully the new brand new fuel tank will hold some of the pretty blue Traxxas fuel. Got my battery charged up here for the easy start. I do have the old school original style easy start that came with this truck, and I got a couple extras over there that Tony gave me in a package deal of a bunch of T-Max and E-Max parts. But this style of wand, just, it's simpler, it's easier to use. I do love easy start though, makes it easy. Alright, in the last Rustler video I don't know if you recall, but it was running away on me at idle. So before I attempt to start it after I've put it all back together and put a new fuel tank in it, new fuel line, I'm setting carburetor back to factory, so 2.5 turns out on the high speed. The idle, I don't know if you can see that, but that looks like the appropriate gap there at idle. And then the low speed is flush over here. So next, I'm gonna prime it and we'll give it a shot. So yeah, I suppose it'd be smart to have the correct controller over here and to put batteries back in it, since me and Michael robbed this controller to feed a different controller. I don't remember if it was the T-Max or E-Max, but it wouldn't have been the T-Max. That's got rechargeable, so it must have been we robbed it for the E-Max. So, batteries first. Controller, make sure electronics are working. Then I'll try starting her. Alright, batteries in, steering, throttle, brake-ish. Good enough. Gonna warm it up a little bit too, because this motor's still pretty tight. Alright, warmed it up with the heat gun, temp gun. A little greasy from using it for the flat top the other night to do smash burgers. But we're at the glow plug about 140, exhaust 140, about 100 on the case. So I'm gonna give that a shot. Faith over fear, had to show that off. It's from my son. He got a bunch of them for Christmas that he wanted to hand out to his friend, and stickers. Draw closer to God and he will draw closer to you. James 4:8. But faith over fear, for a guy that's lived with anxiety all his life, it's a good motto to have. Some days are great, some periods of life are great. Most recently I went through month or so after Thanksgiving that my anxiety just went through the roof, and I can't really tell you why, unless it was maybe a little bit of lack of exercise or just got in my head, but that's life. I know with doing the right things, I always come out the other side, and I haven't let it stop anything in my life, so, you know, you just kind of live through it, work through it, and do the next right thing, and go to AA meetings, go to church, do my daily readings. Enlisted the help of a doctor this time and took some meds, which I usually don't like to do, but it's what was necessary. So that's a little bit more about me. I'm a complete open book, and I'll talk about anything and all things in Rob's life. All right, we'll start this up. Ooh. Had it for a second. We're getting there. Had to pour a little fuel down the carb and play with priming it a little bit, but once we got some fuel sucking through there, she at least ran for a few seconds there. Now to maybe get her warmed up and mess with her a little more. Me and that trash can. Every time. Ooh. She's ripping. All right, ladies and gents, I would officially say the 25-year-old Rustler is alive and running good. Can't wait for some daylight, and hopefully the pavement stays dry out there. Maybe I'll get off on time tomorrow from work and rip it down the street a couple of times, but I had the low speed turned way too far in. That's why I was struggling so hard in the beginning to get it started and keep it running. And then had to richen back up the high speed a little bit so it would quit bogging. And now she is having some fun out there. And my garage is filled with nitro smoke again, so I can pull my truck in for the night and smell all the goodness before I go to work tomorrow morning. So yeah, that's it. That's the 25-year-old Stampede. Motor was originally stuck and it's back from the living dead. You learned a little bit more about Rob Lorenz from Iowa City, now in White Bear Lake, Minnesota today. You know, mental health, it's a serious thing, folks. Like I said before, if you're ever curious about my faith walk or sobriety or how I take care of myself and get past anxiety and fun crap like that, always reach out. I'm an open book. Later, guys.